Well, hello, everyone. Hello there. Hello.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
I was expecting, like an intro to a show. Like we gotta work on that.
We don't church it up on this first of two cross GUA crossover episodes that we're doing this month to make up for not having December. But this is our first one of 2023. So I am the man without fear, Chris.
You're Brett.
It's me. Okay. Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say something
Well,
that doesn't really matter.
normally I follow that up with Friendly Neighborhood Brent, but it's not
There
that
you
show.
go.
So hey, I'm
Yes, I have to hear it. I'm sorry.
Friendly Neighborhood Brent. Here you go, just for you, Joe.
I am the new dad, fanboy Clay.
I'm Joe. I don't have a.
I'm just-
The new
I'm
dad.
Joe.
You're like a veteran at this point. I mean, isn't your kid practically in college?
Not the discussion you missed before this. He is not.
I know we're gonna have Heinz join us here in a little bit. We're gonna have at least one patron join us here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be a patron and you're maybe watching this, hey, hit us up. Follow the link. We would love to talk to you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Snell is working behind the scenes tonight, but he will, for patrons, if you're listening, wondering where the link is, he'll be dropping it in a few minutes at that point. But like we said, Heinz is coming in, and Katie is a maybe not. She may be popping in. Heinz is probably coming back from playing hockey, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think he said
That's all they do up there.
Or the curling, from what I understand.
Brent, I'm actually looking at the article that was talking about the cancellation of the omnibuses for Kyle Rayner, and volume 1 was Green Lantern 51 through 60, Rebels 94, New Titans 116, Guy Gardner 27 through 28. That's all volume 1.
I have all of the Guy Gardner issues.
Volume 2.
I'm with you, Joe. I'm with you.
Nice.
Volume 2 was 58 through 65 of Green Lantern, New Teen Titans 124 through 125, Dark Stars. I haven't heard that title in forever.
That's a fun story arc. That's back when Donna Troy was a Dark Star, John Stewart was a Dark Star.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dark Stars 34, Guy Gardner Warrior 27 through 28, and Damage 16.
Gardner Warrior.
God, the 90s were such like.
That's my time. That's my time.
It's great, but volume 3, which was canceled, is Green Lantern number 66 through 75 and Lantern Annual number 4. So it's like the tail end of the series, and it's just gone.
It's a hate crime.
Well, yeah, for catching up people for behind the scenes, I was bringing up to our illustrious panel here that the two fingers I'm holding up right now is the amount of people who are in charge of DC.
Brent saw something.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I had looked away. I was expecting you to be flipping us off like the old double front flip.
Brent's getting interesting. Yeah, I'm holding the number 2.
I'm tired.
And that
I'm
is how
so
many
tired.
people are that is how many people are running DC collected editions at that point from a publishing standpoint, not from a mapping standpoint. And there are very little omnis, if very little to like I can count on my hand of how many are been solicited, and only one absolute. The rest are trades or slightly larger hardcovers. But
It's
nothing.
okay. We are getting that Omni next year from that other company, Sigil. So it's like
There we go.
the book that is going to the Omni that is going to make me consider purchasing a physical Omni just
I know.
to support
That's
it. Like just like
Cross-gen.
I'll never even crack the spine on that thing. But just to support it, actually, I might because I'd like to reread.
You have to.
I want it digitally. I want them digitally, but I may purchase them just to like keep the,
But for me, I
Statistic.
think one of the bigger problems at DC, like I literally just got a shipment from a comic book shop that I purchased from Unknown Comics, and I got my hardcover from for Lonely City finally. Catwoman Lonely City.
So good.
Got my hardcover from from Milestone. Rocket and
Hardware.
Hardware.
Icon,
No.
yeah, icon.
Icon,
yeah.
Yes.
Icon and Rocket.
I'm now thinking about Worlds Collide with Rocket and Icon.
Yeah.
for the Milestone
For sure.
universe, and that's hardcover. But I've talked to so many people that are wanting more hardcovers for your traditional ongoing runs, and they've basically stopped. Tom King's run, the last hardcover, took almost like freaking 3 years, almost 4 years.
You mean
Yeah,
his
it was-
Batman run?
Yeah,
Or with
the
Batman
final-
and Catwoman?
Yeah, the final deluxe edition
Nobody liked
took
it.
exactly that long, Clay.
Yeah.
I never finished it. I started it, like got like 4 or 5 issues in.
I
and just
didn't start it.
I have all of them. Like I wanted to finish out the
Oh man,
Tom
Yeah.
King run, but nope. I'm just like,
I'm dropping
Eh,
them in.
stop.
You know, it would have been good if you were like in the middle, like Alice, and
What up?
And we're
Hey,
David,
David.
welcome to the party.
What's that?
not a whole lot.
I'm glad I ended up making it.
I just told him I haven't heard from him. I don't know if he has, changed of plans. I had to go to St. Louis, and you're like, no, I'm back. I'm good. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to happier things. Let's talk about something happy. I know Brent and I this week on Marvel Alliance talked about the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania trailer. That was the biggest thing this week, kind of dropping at that point. So we've already had our thoughts about it. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the what probably may not be the final trailer, but it's definitely the last one that Brent and I will be watching.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
No more big screen trailers at work, Brent? No?
Okay, we did it one time. One time we did that because yes, David and I were eagerly awaiting the Across the Spider-Verse trailer. If they give us another trailer release during the workday with an actual time, yeah, we'll do it again, 100%. But really, we'll probably do it again even if not. But we were just prepared because we had a drop time. That's the only difference.
Yeah. It was a one-time thing, and we had to be able to freeze frame
So far,
on a big TV frame by frame. So that's why.
there's a lot of spiders that we had to point at and say, it's that one.
Over there,
But
over there, over
But
there.
David, how do you feel about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania so far with the trailers we got?
So just like Brent, this is going to be my last one. I have a 1 month rule, especially with Marvel, because and I will even unfollow them on YouTube for a brief time because they like to, especially in the last week, give away those extra scenes to try and get the casual fan. So I stay away after the last month. But this last trailer was good. I wanted the Kang line from when they had I believe it was Comic-Con they had it at. Either that or was D23, one of those. With
It was both.
he has
Both
this
of them had
line that I'm not going to repeat now, just in case someone hasn't heard it. But I wanted that line. I didn't get it. But watching him just A-Town stomp Ant-Man, I was like, okay, he showed his power in there. So I'm all for it.
You know what's fun is that you guys, Marvel Alliance guys, both talked about the line. David, you just brought it up again. I don't know the line.
Yeah,
Either I don't remember it or whatever. Like, okay,
Avoid it.
I feel like
Avoid it
it's
then.
like
that's fine. I
it was
probably will.
it was the one line people were freaking out about when the trailer leaked.
Cool. I have like a shit ton of things I have to take care of in the next month. My mind is like broken. Okay, I don't remember things.
That's what happens when you have too many shows, Joe.
Ugh. Tell me about it. I just finished recording because I'm releasing 2 episodes next week. One covering Warrior Nun, the final season of Warrior Nun, and then the first episode of Last of Us for Walk Through the Multiverse.
Never heard of it.
It's a video game, really popular. They had 2 of them, an AR game. I don't know. It's around.
People cried over it.
Comics.
Yeah,
I cried
a little
over it.
bit.
But like I was watching the Warrior Nun, and I took like the last 2 weeks to watch the 8 episodes, and I did it purposely to like watch the first 3, record, watch the next 3, record, and just kind of do it that way. Between the final 2 episodes and the first 3 episodes, I forgot everything that happened. Not a good sign. But like But that just goes into saying I have so much that I'm doing that I don't remember half the shit I'm doing anymore. Like any comics I'm reading, I'm vaguely remembering. For the other show, Comic Book Rundown, Ron and I are reading the night before because if I read any time before that, I'm going to forget what we're talking about. I got way too much on my plate and I hate it. But I also love it. I don't know why.
That was my life last year, and I will completely admit I don't miss it. So,
Yeah.
Well, you get all those shows. It's hard to keep it. Like when I was on DC TV Squadcast, I think the height was like 8 shows, and of which like every week would have 4 or 5. Like it was just impossible to keep up with.
And then
think
God
it's like
forbid
notes
you
when
had
you
you
want.
had a Marvel Netflix show in there that dropped everything at once too.
Yeah. I mean, for the
but
most
Britt
part.
specifically requested off for those days.
Yes. But that's not how it
exist.
started. It's not how it started, though. When Daredevil season 1 came out, I had other things I had to do that day anyway. It was coincidence, but all my free time was watching Daredevil, and I loved it. So I did it again. Actually, with Jessica Jones season 1, I was in Colorado when it first aired. I only got like 1 episode in that night. Hell of a way to end that episode, though. It was just too late to watch more. But yes, for Luke Cage, for Iron Fist, and the rest of it up until I think it was Jessica Jones season 3.
Which I never did watch that.
It's better than season 2. My rewatches clarified things. It's way better
I
than
think you're
season
right
2 was.
because I remember y'all's conversation right before Daredevil season 3 was
Phenomenal.
that you had requested
that
off,
either.
and I don't remember you saying anything for Punisher season.
Well,
2,
Daredevil
so.
season 3, when that dropped, I was actually in Chicago. I was going to go to a live show of one of my favorite podcasts called Upgrade. It's a tech podcast. And while we were there, sure, whatever, we'll go see Hamilton. I don't care. But we were trying to do it as cheap as possible. So we were there for the podcast. We saw Hamilton, and we didn't do Jack else, and we basically watched it all in the hotel there. But that was what we wanted.
Which Netflix? Because I remember there was a Netflix Marvel show that came out the same day as a movie.
It was a DC movie. Or like, was it around No, it wasn't Aquaman.
No.
I don't know if it was Aquaman. I think it was Punisher and something. And people were
Thor?
freaking out. And
That means
I think-
Punisher's in it, right?
oh, you know what? I think it was Punisher and Justice League.
The Punisher came out November 17th, 2017.
There you go.
Justice League.
There we go.
Yeah, I was a little busy that day.
Watching Punisher, right?
Some of us made time for both. I'm just
I
saying,
actually-
some of us made time for both.
And that's the thing
Never
that
mind. I'm not
I
gonna bring
find
that-
a
I'm
little
not gonna
silly
bring
when
that
it comes to shows versus movies. Like, it's a movie. You cut a little bit of time for, and of course, I know a lot of people like to binge everything in one day so they can be a part of the conversation the very next day, which is absolutely insane sometimes.
Never have been
But-
able to do that.
I can't. Not anymore.
I did
No
that
way.
with like season 1 or 2 of Lock and Key, but stopped after that. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I think each Netflix show took me at least a week to finish, except for the first season of Daredevil. I think that one I completely binged.
You should rewatch them. All of them.
Yeah,
I thought about doing a
especially
rewatch
Punisher.
before.
All of them before Daredevil Born Again.
I thought about doing that.
I just like your little updates, Britt, of your notes checklist
Mhm,
and
yep.
how it's just super massive. It's
Hey,
insane.
It's Hines. Good evening,
Hello,
sir.
everyone.
It's
And,
Hines.
and we do more than just play hockey, Brian.
Do you? Do you really?
Yeah.
You do curling.
You drive to and from hockey. I get it. I get it.
We drink Tim Hortons. Apparently.
And shovel.
We have to shovel the snow out of the way to get to the hockey.
And
that's true.
and when the hockey is not going, you talk about the hockey and how much you miss the hockey. And when the hockey goes on strike, the hockey is still talked about and hating the hockey.
There's
but
only superhero stuff on my wall.
Attaboy. Serious question then, related to that. Is anyone going to rewatch any Daredevil before Born Again?
If
And-
anything, I'll watch just Daredevil. I would like to watch all of them, but I don't think I'm gonna have the time.
Do you consider it canon right now?
I'm
Because
saying
to
no.
you, if it's not canon, maybe you don't need to rewatch it for that reason. I mean, rewatch them just because they're great, but
Yeah. Shit.
like
Yeah.
For me personally, after seeing She-Hulk, you know, seeing how he is, yes, he still has the same kind of mannerisms, and you know, they played the theme, they did the joke of the hallway scene. I think
If the costume is the same design.
yes. I think for me, it's all hitting the same beats, but I definitely know that Kevin Feige is going to want to do something different with the character overall. So for me personally, what I remember from the Netflix show, I think is enough for me to appreciate what I'm going to be getting in the MCU.
That's fair. That's fair.
How about let's see if Stick is alive? If Jessica Jones shows up in his show?
She will.
Does she cite
She is.
anything? Yeah, I
That
don't
shirt
find
says
out.
it all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're currently auctioning off Elektra's outfit online, so she's not showing up.
Well, they're
How
actually,
much? And are you the highest bidder right now, David?
Someone tried to talk me into bidding on it.
So that's a maybe.
If I can find some room.
hey, there's
Oh no,
room,
you would find room for that.
There's room for that. You'll make room for that.
Oh, geez. Love it.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, my rewatch has been slow. I've gotten through season 2 of Daredevil, so you know, I've got some time since we don't have an exact premiere date. So I'm working my way through, just because they're damn good shows.
Well, you're
Oh
not
my
wrong.
god! If anyone told me that Daredevil was the greatest comic book show of all time, I wouldn't argue against that at all.
I would tell you that it's
Yeah.
the greatest one that I've seen. I haven't seen them all, but I think overall it's the best one that I've seen.
Probably would have to agree with you on that, Brent.
Very nice.
That's right.
I would say greatest live action comic book show I've
Okay,
seen.
That's a good. That's
what,
a good.
what are you putting in front of it? Animated over there, Batman Taz.
I was about to say it would most likely be for nostalgia, it'd be Batman, and yes, Invincible is close up there. Like they could fight for 1 and 2.
I respect those choices. I respect them.
Josh is in chat. He just finished his rewatch of Daredevil.
Well,
Very nice.
I've always liked Josh.
Well played.
You know, I think if I need to rewatch any Daredevil, it may have to be Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
The director's cut.
I just wanted to see Ben's
No.
reaction.
No, Chris and I have talked about that.
Yes, he
we
has.
find
I'll
out,
let you. Yeah.
if we find out Ben Affleck is showing up in Secret Wars as Matt Murdock, we are going to watch the director's cut.
Oh, I was just.
I've never seen it.
Joke about
He's
it.
never.
Oh,
I've seen it.
wow.
I own it. So
I don't do director's cuts typically, but
That's
in this
the-
case, I would.
It's
I like the
on
movie
DVD
though, so-
right over there.
I got a Blu-ray over
Well,
there.
I'd borrow it, but I don't have a DVD player, so
You have to do. You have your.
You have a
Spider-Man
PlayStation.
My
You have a
PlayStation,
DVD
you're
I was
right.
gonna say you have a PS4, so there you go.
no. Spider-Man is in my PlayStation, and it doesn't come out. So
Smart man.
Oh, well, looks like you got my PS5 then. Darn.
With children, smart man.
yeah,
yes. Well, since Heinz is here, do you want to talk about some Superman stuff today, Heinz?
Sure thing. The 9 news we got so
The lack
far.
thereof.
Yeah. Still waiting on
Again,
that news.
I'm gonna throw it out there because I even thought about like just myself seeing if I can predict any castings, and even if because
didn't you say you don't know anyone under the age
and
of
that was
45?
and that was
Yeah,
the
he doesn't
thing.
do fan casting.
He's
so-
like, don't ask
so-
me, so he's going to ask everybody else to do it.
No. I'm not going to ask anybody
Need mine.
to fan cast anything, but if, and this is a big if, because again, the joke that was in the GOA chat was, well, Gunn didn't say no specifically to this guy who is, of course, from the HBO Max or HBO show Euphoria. I looked him up. He's 25 years old. There's no way in hell I can pull 7 actors' names that are 25 or within the range of 25 years old. Like, no way in hell.
Just name everybody from High School Musical. Aren't they like
Yeah.
under 30?
They're our age.
Are they really?
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Look, hold on. I'm like
They were 25 when they played high schoolers.
This
Not
Photoshop is bad, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Both of them,
it-
they
It
look horrible.
definitely is. I
it
think
is
I heard
he-
somebody say that he looks like. Oh, let me bring it up. I think I screenshot.
Well, as you're bringing it up, so James Gunn tweeted out responding to a Twitter account, Super Film News, saying Jacob Eldry is rumored to be at James Gunn Superman for DCU. Thoughts? He says, "My thoughts are no one has been cast as Superman yet. Casting, as is almost always the case with me, will happen after the script is finished or close to finish, and it isn't. We'll announce a few things in not too long. Some people are saying next week, but the casting of Superman won't be one of them." And then puts a mermaid emoji.
It also definitely won't be on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah,
think
because that's DC. That's DC Alliance luck.
Yeah, that's not,
no.
it's just
I
never happened.
think, and again, not because it's the day after, but because it's the synergy of DC Tuesdays. If you wait until literally the last day of January on the 31st, that would be absolutely hilarious. That's just me. But I saw somebody say that the Australian actor, looks like Drake Bell from the show Drake and Josh. And he kind of looks like it. He has like a very thin chin. But then there is other people even commenting on that thread with that Photoshop. Something Wolfgang something.
I
And
think it's a
there's
little-
there's like
The
a
kid
Photoshop
from
that has been
Stranger
passed-
Things.
yeah, it's like Finn Wolfhard.
Is
That's-
it him?
that's
I have
what
no
it-
idea. Let me actually see if I can find that one.
Although he looks, I mean, he's
I don't know any of these actors.
early
at all.
20s now, late teens, early 20s now. So maybe.
So
I think
this
that's
guy right
pretty,
here.
but I think that's pretty solid. Like we're not going to get a name. You didn't hear about Chris Pratt being cast as Star Lord until after we heard about Guardians. I think that's
This
just the
guy.
way it's going to go.
that picture's fake.
This
That's
is
like
it's-
that's
man.
AI generated. That's
it's
Yeah.
real.
AI generated, but it's the actor.
Mm,
I don't know who this guy is though.
will that be Wolfgang?
Who?
No, I'm gonna butcher that name.
Novogratz. I have no idea who it is.
Well, that's him right there. Apparently,
I don't know this man. I feel
I
sorry.
hope
for
it's a
this
He's-
man.
complete
he's
unknown.
AI.
though. I hope it's a complete unknown.
He's
like
not
Henry
real.
Cavill was to
The
me,
only
him
perfect
generated.
Superman is not real.
that's sad.
Oh shit.
So what news do you think we might get out of James Gunn? Like new news, if he announces in the next couple of weeks?
He said he's working on a TV show, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
unannounced TV show.
Did he say unannounced TV show?
Yes.
And his-
So we
He,
can.
in that
Presumably it's-
one tweet, he said like, "Oh, I've had a very long day," and he like named all the things that he had done. One of them being working on script for Untitled TV show.
Which could be what he was working on before. The other show, it could be something new. The other show wasn't the other spinoff from Peacemaker or
Yeah,
That's why-
the supposed
wasn't
Amanda
announced.
Waller show.
yeah, like that wasn't officially announced. So it could be that show. It could be something new.
Do we think there will be more in the DCEU post Peacemaker season 2?
It's unannounced. It wasn't. So he said unannounced. So maybe it's different than the Amanda Waller show in his tweet. So yeah.
I don't think there's going to be anything after Peacemaker in the DCEU.
No, it.
I hope you're right
I
on
mean,
that, Brand.
We've talked about that on the show. Like,
Well, what about David? What do you think? Do you think that anything that James Gunn has touched before is that going to be completely erased, or do you think it'll be set in the new DCU as like a soft reboot type of thing?
I think there may be a couple of characters that come over. I think somehow Harcourt's going to stay because I mean you can't fire your wife.
Sure you can.
But
I
You
don't
can
know.
always do that. Not going to go well for you, but you can do that.
Chris,
I mean,
your wife won't be listening to this, will she?
I do wonder because somehow Ezra Miller still has a job. So I mean, it's
Just
the
for now.
who
His
gets fired,
mo-
who
his
gets
mo-
hired
their
thing.
movie's not out yet.
I mean, Batgirl wasn't out, and WB completely scrapped that. which I'm still sad about, especially after seeing that scene the other day of what we could have had.
Oh, the motorcycle scene.
So
Mhm.
yes. So I'm not sure I think he'll keep Peacemaker. I have a feeling because people just have loved that character. People have loved John Cena in that character. And as a lifelong wrestling fan, I would never have imagined John Cena in that character, but I absolutely love it every time. It is just so left of where I have normally seen him. I'm like, go for it, let's do it. So I think they will stay, but I think everything else will probably get redone. I think he will keep Jason Momoa, just find something different for him.
Lobo.
Maybe not even Lobo that everyone wants. I'm not sold on Jason Momoa as Lobo because I think the fan thought is too high on that. So it's one of those things of if it's different from like Rosario Dawson in Mando and now Ahsoka. Like it was one of those things of if it happens, cool, but so many people want him as Lobo that if it doesn't work, people are going to riot. Momoa fans, women will riot.
Jason Momoa as the Spectre.
I just like how you said, Momoa fans, women will ride. That's an interesting statement there.
You also have to remember, Lobo has kind of been a character that they've wanted to put on the big screen anyway. There was the many rumors of way back when The Rock being attached to a Lobo film, then Machete being attached to a Lobo film. Michael Bay at one point was attached to a Lobo film.
He'd be good for Lobo.
So, like, there has been
Enough explosions.
yeah.
Well, be careful with those pigeons,
think-
though. Those pigeons are going to be different.
I know, man. But I do think that Lobo is a big possibility as something that DC or WB definitely wants in live action. I think
wasn't Lobo on Krypton?
he was,
Yes.
and I think he was very well received,
Yeah.
so they would want to put him on the big screen.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like I don't know if I could see. I mean, I say that, but I think the person who played Lobo on Krypton did a great job.
Mhm.
But I think Momoa playing Lobo is just Momoa being Momoa, and I think that would be the easiest thing for him.
Yeah, it's like, Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool.
Exactly. That's exactly what it would be, and I think it would be great.
I don't know. Who knows?
Did
But,
we lose David there?
I'm sure he'll be back.
Heinz, we started off, but get your thoughts on the Quantumania trailer.
Oh, I loved it. I also go listen to Marvel Nights. That you guys had some great points, especially Chris, your theory about Kangs and why he was there, and
Mhm.
if it could possibly those are some great points there that definitely made me go watch the trailer again. I'm really excited for this because
Yeah, it can go both ways. It may go none of the ways.
oh yeah, maybe none of that speculation may be accurate, but like Brent
Yes.
says about speculation, just keep it under control. Don't let it ruin crossover events for you, like it did some people.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
Crisis on Infinite Earths, the cameo
Never heard of
fist. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Chris Krang is going to be a highlight for me. The way they're doing it, the way they're doing him looks fantastic. The one thing I'll say is I really hope that Scott is plans for Kang to double cross him, because I mean, you're a villain. You've been in jail for years. You should 100% know if you get into a deal with a villain that they're going to try and double cross you.
Is Scott really a villain, though?
Well, he was. I don't.
I mean, you called him a villain. I
learn
reject
shit.
the premise.
You learn shit if you're in jail for 3 years. I will say that you learn shit if you're in jail.
I will not call him a villain. I'd say
I didn't mean
criminal.
villain.
Criminal.
Criminal.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
For 3 years. So I just think you should have a bit more of you shouldn't be duped on something like that. So and the way they showed the final scenes, I don't think he is. I think he's going to have a plan. It may involve him sacrificing himself, which, like you guys said, is something that I wouldn't have
Great
seen
plan.
him do. But if you can stop Kang, however it may be, I really love it. I'm really excited. It's only a month away, and I can't wait to buy tickets. And it'll probably be an extra couple days after you guys, but I can't wait to buy tickets.
You're usually a couple days behind, right, for your tickets when they go on sale?
The Batman was the closest. I think it was like 12 hours or something.
It's the time zone difference.
Yeah. Got your own island time zone, so you know.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. It's 11:30 here right now. Yay!
Heinz, are you doing any kind of catch up on the Arrowverse? I mean, the boy's coming back, so
We talked about this a little bit on Monday, and I'm not sure yet. I'm debating doing Man of Recaps to catch up. That's the easy way out, but I don't know if I can sit through any. I gave up before the mirror dimension stuff was finished, and then I jumped back in for the season 8 crossover. That was a dumpster fire, if I can be honest with you.
With how much you enjoyed the Arrowverse prior to the last season or two, isn't there even a part of you that feels like you gotta finish it, you gotta close it out?
I don't know if I got the time to catch up on all those shows. I will be watching Flash season 9 and going on from that, but I don't know if I have the time to catch up for those shows. Although DC doesn't have any shows going on right now. I don't know when Titans or Doom Patrol is coming out. They're pretty mum on that, so I may have some time to knock that out.
They're letting everyone know that they've already written them off as a tax write-offs, and we just ended it.
They're done. No second parts. No second parts for anyone.
Damn. I have 5 episodes left of season 7 of Legends, and I will be finish that out. And you know what? The bowling episode broke me. It was horrible, but that broke so you? Far. That broke you? So far, that was like the low point. Like the next few episodes were definitely better.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I must have bounced.
And there's only been like one Bebo reference in a way that made sense for the show, and I'll leave it at that. But it was like a blink and you'll miss it Bebo thing. But
David, what is your CW kind of like? Are you watching any of it? Or did you bail on stuff? How devoted are you?
I bailed on Legends, and it was Brent's fault because he told me about the bowling episode because I stopped one episode before the bowling episode. So if I pull up my Apple TV, it will say continue watching, and it does get thumbnail better of the bowling episode.
Define better, Brent.
I mean, low bar, but
the bowling episode's behind us, so it's better.
Wait, Britt, what is the best season of Legends?
Oh, number 1.
Okay.
But
it doesn't get that much better.
Like, okay, their 100th episode was a good celebration of the show.
Okay.
Including back to season 1. Like, it was a good celebration of the show.
And who would have thought that show got to 100 episodes? Let's just be honest with ourselves. Like, every time that got re-upped, it's like, how is this still going? It's probably one of the most expensive shows just on the character license rights alone.
Well, that's probably how it started when they had and used actual powers. But
I got
when the only real superpowered person is Steel, and you go multiple episodes without him stealing up, like you save what you can.
But it's so frustrating when he's actually fighting people and he doesn't steal up. You're like, dude, like use your power. You're one thing to prevent.
Yeah.
Legends. I fell off in Legends and a couple seasons to go. I think 1 maybe. And same thing with Batwoman. I didn't finish off that. I did finish Supergirl and enjoyed that. I'm really excited about Flash though, just because of how well Arrow ended. I hope that they bring back villains. We get new villains like Captain Boomerang, for example, seems to be featured a bit in the first part of the season. Really hoping we see Wentworth Miller come back as Captain Cold somehow. If you can bring back a dead Oliver
Barry
and have him as actual Green Arrow, not Spectre, because I saw the picture Chris posted this morning, and he's wearing a suit, and it's not a Spectre suit. So if you can bring him back, I hope you bring back Wentworth Miller.
He can be the Spectre and then change his suit into.
He can. He's
Green
done
Arrow.
That is true.
That is something I miss. Like
Hal Jordan Spectre was just Hal Jordan,
half the time.
But he wasn't like when we saw him. He was basically Morpheus.
God, I think one of my favorite scene panels is from Green Lantern Rebirth, and he's talking to Ollie at the gravesite and says, "All right, tell me now, tell me, bud, when are you coming back?" He says, "I'm working on it." Yep. And I was like, "Oh,
yep,
love that, love that."
Well, in there's a comic for that universe that has already brought him back. So I don't know.
Well, maybe it wasn't Rebirth. It was probably I couldn't remember it. No, it was from Was it?
No, you mean there's a comic in
No,
the
it's the-
Arrowverse?
Yeah,
right?
in the Arrowverse.
Yeah,
No, but Chris, you're
No,
talking
no, no,
about
no. I'm
Yeah, I know Chris taught me something else entirely.
the book that you're talking about is in that panel, that story part.
Yeah.
Is in Blackest Night.
Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah. Blackest Night.
No,
Yep.
what?
Yeah.
He's already
No,
back
not
in
Blackest Night. No, not Blackest Night.
It's either Identity Crisis, which I think is Identity Crisis.
Yes, it
Or-
is.
Oh,
It is.
you
You're
know
right.
what?
It's
That's
Identity
true.
Crisis.
You're
yes.
right. It is
Because
Identity
Holly
Crisis.
goes
It's
to
ident-
him to try and figure out who the
Yeah.
killer is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Look,
right.
Identity Crisis started my downfall of buying everything.
Because
easy tie-ins.
that's when we also get like the weird speedster Captain Boomerang stories.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, in the DC universe. Yeah.
Well, they're having
Weird.
Batwoman be the main villain. Well, Red Death as Batwoman be the main villain of that season. So I'm not sure. It could be really bad. I don't want to get my hopes up for that season after the past couple for the Flash.
So I haven't finished Batwoman season 3 yet. I got 6 episodes to go. I'm now just going in chrono order. Do we think she's going to show up at Javicia Leslie will show up as Batwoman also, or is she just the Red Death?
I've
I'm
only
not
seen pictures
sure.
of
I
Red
think
Death,
we will
but-
see the origin of the Red Death, which you will see Batwoman and Barry. If they do it like the comics, Batwoman will have Barry tied to a Batmobile and go into the Speed Force. So,
Interesting.
Yeah,
I did read stuff about her supposedly being angry at Bruce Wayne. I'm not sure if that's actually
Well, that checks out.
checks out. And Brent, that shot that Chris posted really reminded me of season 1 of The Flash, where you had Firestorm, Arrow, and Flash. And it really just got me excited for the potential of that universe because they were doing crossovers at episodes, and it was
The
great.
Rogue Air episode?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I was saying 21. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
So, David, are you going to be watching the final season?
Yeah, only because I'm committed. Like I've watched every other season, and the last season, I mean, I struggled with it, but now that they have a finite end, I'm like, okay, I can finish this out because I know there's a finite end. If there wasn't a finite end, I was done after last season.
Well, that's what I want to hear before I watch it. Awesome.
I've been pretty good. I've watched everything except for I stopped halfway through the last season, and I have no inclination to return. I'm okay. I'll live with the catch up of either YouTube or the preview that they'll do right before the episode begins.
Yeah, it got Legends forms of weird at one point with who's dead, who's not dead. Is this a dream? It was like, okay, but knowing that this is the final run, knowing that it's a shortened season, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's only like 13.
13,
Yeah.
yeah. I will watch the first episode, and then after that, I will try the second. And as long as it keeps me saying, hey, what happens next episode, without completely turning out to be, lightning lightsabers, then
Oh my god, that was oh.
I'll keep watching.
had
Otherwise,
that
That
blank
was
cinema.
cinema.
I had
That
the
was
finale
cinema on
and see
TV.
everybody's
What are you
reaction.
talking about? That
I
was
had that
cinema.
blank that in my brain until Clay mentioned it that time. To be honest with you, it was like, don't ever remember that sight again.
Well, my goal is to be caught up by the finale of The Flash. I don't know if I'll be caught up. I definitely am not going to be caught up by the premiere, but hopefully by the finale, I will have caught
I
up.
will say they're doing great with the posters. I've been sharing them
Posters
in
have
the
been
GUA chat.
solid,
The
yes.
posters
Yeah.
for the final season are really cool. I really like the one where Barry is like running like back and you see all of the
All the
different
other
posters
posters.
from each season.
Mhm.
I thought that was
Nice,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I like the boots poster that Chris shared the other day. So they're doing great with marketing. But as far as like
Yeah.
the quality of the actual show, we'll wait and see.
Like there was even some really good episodes in bad seasons too. Like that Flash Time episode, I think it was season 5 maybe or season 4, where he's stuck and there's a bomb about to go off, and you have a self-contained thing for the entire episode. I
He
think
has a conversation with Jay Garrick in it.
And
Jay and
Jesse Quick is
Really,
there
it's
as
the
well.
1
Yeah.
minute war in the comics.
Yeah,
So good.
such a good episode, but the season, like is a bit of a mess. I think that might be Cicada. I can't.
It was, yeah.
For sure was,
I
yeah.
couldn't even remember Quentin Lance's
Yeah.
name on Monday. So
I was so I was disappointed in you. Oh my gosh!
Into the show,
It,
I
like,
wanted to go into the corner
clicked in
and
my
say,
head.
I remember
Like,
listening to DCTV and Hines commenting on things, and you guys like Brent and Ray talking about it, and Hines just throwing out these names or quotes or scenes from several seasons in the past. You know, me and Joe talking over here about how our memory is basically gone from yesterday, and Hines can quote all of Arrow, all 8 seasons.
Dude,
Not
I don't know
anymore,
how
not
he does
anymore,
it.
not
Random
anymore.
bullshit comment from Batman Nightfall from 1993. I got you. It's anything from the last 5 years. I'm just, ugh.
I blame COVID.
There you go.
Yeah.
Quentin
That
Lance.
explains why I was sick
Quentin Lance.
on Monday's recording.
Yes,
There you go.
You had your Jordan flu game.
Yeah, it was bad. But, no, the bad thing is I called into work Monday because I thought I was just sick. Went into work Tuesday, Wednesday, tested Wednesday night, tested positive, tested Thursday morning, still positive, tested this morning, negative. Today I had to return to work.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Sucks. But
Give mandatory leave be off for a week here.
look, we don't live in Canada, okay? We don't have great healthcare here.
We take what we can get.
Exactly.
You take this Blue Cross Blue Shield card and you deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't have insurance? Here's Cobra. It's as bad as it sounds.
We have to pay. We have to pay for things. I had to pay for parking at the last ultrasound.
Oh,
Hines,
Pay
I don't
for
wanna
parking
hear it.
at the
I don't want to
hospital?
hear it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
Wait, you paid for parking at the hospital.
yeah, it was like $1.50.
Oh, come on.
I'm happy I don't have to pay for parking.
I
at
am
the
pretty
library
sure
anymore.
we have received the bill from Amberlynn's birth, and I'm pretty sure Abby has seen the bill because she refuses to let me see it. Like I think that's what the deal was.
That's probably a good thing.
It's gonna be more than the $1.50 Hines just paid.
Oh, 100%.
Add a couple.
It's going to be
zeros.
this many.
Having kids is freaking expensive.
Well, that was the whole
Yeah.
that was the whole stipulation of when we got Flynn. Abby was like, "Hey, I really want a dog." I was like, "We can't afford it." And she's like, "Okay, well, it's either a dog or a baby."
And you had both.
And she presented me with an actual budget of what it would cost for a whole year for a newborn baby and a whole year
Was
for
it
a new puppy. And it was significantly cheaper to get the puppy. So I was like, why not?
How'd that work
And
out
then
for you?
literally a year later, hey Clay, I think you need to go buy a pregnancy test. Jesus Christ.
And you're like, for which one of your friends? No, idiot.
Can I ask you one other question? Do they pay you guys for having kids here in the States?
You mean like maternity
No.
or paternity leave?
No, like we get like $7,000 every year if you have a kid.
Oh, you mean
For
like on
ages-
taxes and
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, we get a check like a
No.
Canada
No,
child
Hines, they
benefit.
do not. No.
When I bought my electric car, I got a $7,000 tax rebate. So,
Oh.
but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
good
no,
shit.
the country does not say, "Hey, congratulations, we'll help you out." No.
God damn it.
No.
Fuck.
Why-
Cold.
The
It's cold.
best
I know we
the
live
best
in
checks
winter,
in the
but it's
mail were
cold.
during COVID when we got paid to.
That's about the only
To
time
help
you got
us
paid for
out.
having kids.
Yeah.
You're
You
not
actually
lying,
you
though,
actually
Brett.
do get tax breaks for it though. So, like my niece that was born on New Year's Day on January 1st, they didn't get the tax break for her. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
my
you
daughter
got
was
it a whole
born
year
December
later.
21st, and I got
You got a tax
her
break
for that year. It was
Yeah,
one-
you got it for the whole year. That's kind of what I'm hoping for with Amberlynn. Not
Oh,
gonna
you
lie.
you will
You'll
you will.
get it.
That's
She
how it
got- she was
works.
Yeah.
born for the at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I love how this discussion went from geek to now like talking about healthcare and taxes.
Adulting, we love
I'm
it.
genuinely interested sometimes. Like,
Well, I
was-
mean,
was kinda
David,
shocked.
do you have any kids?
Yeah, I got 2.
Okay, so
So,
I mean,
and
Heinz
they
is
were-
on-
It was
only gonna be-
$300 just to check into the hospital for the birth. That's not even counting the birth.
Yeah,
The
no,
credit
Signing in a
card check.
reception is going to cost you.
Is the ambulances like taxis there, where they just have a rate
Oh,
going up and up?
No,
and up?
Oh, yeah.
people people will outright refuse to drive in an ambulance because like there's like very little to no insurances that will pay off that bill for an ambulance.
Yeah,
I remember
it's
waiting
awful.
for an ambulance. Yeah.
It's awful. It's like
Yeah.
it's at least close to $1,000
Heinz,
for an
there
ambulance
is
ride.
there is usually, if people are in car accidents or any type of accident whatsoever, we as a community of Americans always ask the question, do you want me to call an ambulance? And we as a collective always say no, because it's
Exactly.
one of the most expensive things that we could pay for.
This is
Don't
friend
even
of
get me
mine
started
went
if you get
2
transported by a
miles.
helicopter.
This is
Yeah, a
wild.
friend of mine went 2 miles and it cost him $750.
Jesus.
2 miles to the hospital, $750.
There's a flat rate of $150, regardless of
Oh
where.
God!
Some people complain was like I only went 5 miles. And had
He's
to
talking
pay
about
that.
getting checks in the mail for $7,000 for having a kid, $150 for an ambulance ride. Jeez, let's go to Heinz Island at that point. We'll deal with the sacrifices
Guys,
some of us have to make.
I'm telling you,
We're not.
as soon as
We're
my
one
kids are old
tenth.
enough and they're out of the house, I'm out of this country.
We're 1/10. We're 1/10 the size of you guys, so that's kind of why you can do some of the
This-
things here.
Does Nick Cannon, is he Canadian?
No, he can come over. We can use.
Doesn't
more
he
young
have like
people.
10, 12 kids,
I
something
think
like
he's
that?
up to 12 now.
14, I think. Oh man,
Double
yeah, that's
digits.
fun.
Yeah, no.
Real is backhand, Chris. Real is.
No, Joe,
So-
someone bring up something comic booky.
All right,
Yeah.
no, I don't have comic book, but I do have movie related. All right, so
Let's go with-
I heard this interesting theory. Has everyone here seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
Nope. And I don't care.
No, and I don't care either. So
Okay, David,
Twice.
twice. Okay,
Probably
Heinz?
the best movie that came out last year.
Okay, all right. So
I don't know, I saw Violent Night.
heard this interesting theory
didn't. I
in
wanted
the
to.
sense of watching this movie. And there is at the beginning of the movie. For those that haven't seen, sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you. So tune out for I don't even know how long this
Earmuffs.
discussion is. You see how long taxes and babies got discussed. God knows where this is going to go. So when Tom Cruise is flying in the big jet, hitting Mach 10 in it, and then he bails out and screen goes black.
Such a great opening.
Interesting theory is that yes, you do see him walk into the diner afterwards at that point, looking all disheveled and everything. Interesting theory is no, he died. What we're actually watching is his heaven sequence of events of everything going perfect in his life, because everything else that happens in the rest of that thing goes great for the most part for him after that.
This is a Grease movie? We're watching Grease?
He got stuck with that bill at the bar. That's not so good.
I know, yeah, it's stuck in the but again, it's just like, okay, so it would be an interesting thing watching that movie with that perspective that he's really dead and he's just kind of living out a dream sequence.
I mean, I guess it's a fun idea, but that's not the movie Tom Cruise was making there.
No, it's not. But I
And
thought it was an
he's
interesting.
certainly not
yeah.
above those kind of things, but no, that's no.
Oh no, I don't think it's real either. But I thought it was an interesting idea. I haven't
I was
I was
even
going to say,
heard
what
that.
is this, Vanilla Sky 2?
Vanilla Sky, yes.
Scientology cloned him.
Yes. That's true.
It's one of his replicants.
It's the only explanation for why he dives out of planes and does everything that no
Or
other
just hangs out at the top of the tallest building in the world without without any kind of harnesses at that point, chilling because no wind's gonna push off Tom Cruise at that point.
Christopher McQuarrie is supposed to got to be like, is this really worth the cash? He's gonna die.
Yes.
There's gonna be a time.
It is.
It's kind of like Rick from Rick and Morty. There's extras in the basement, and we'll just swap it out.
Oh, we
I
tried
rested
that actually
there.
last episode. Oh man.
Love it.
One thing I wanted to ask you guys, because we haven't got confirmation of the Spider-Man 4 yet, but if they do the trilogy, would you like another trilogy? Would you like them to do new villains that we haven't seen in any Spider-Man film? Or would you like to see some MCU takes on some of these villains? Because we've gotten Doc Ock transported here. I would love a different version of Doc Ock, maybe that Peter meets in movie 4, and we see him in movie 5 or 6. Have you thought about that at all? I'm just curious. I think you might have mentioned this. May have been a fact or fiction. Maybe I'm
It was.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's been a lot of fact or fiction.
I don't remember it honestly.
that there's been one close to that idea.
Yeah, like asking about the villains. I was just curious, but like, do you guys have any like hopes of a villain that you really want to see that you haven't yet? Like me with the Spot, but
David,
we're getting that with the Spider-Verse.
Let's start with
Black
David.
Cat. Black Cat.
Ooh,
I want to
yes.
see. I want to see
Yes.
Black Cat live. I think that they could pull it off, and I think that it would, for good or for bad, bring in an audience.
Don't
but
let Sony
I
touch it
love
because you've
all
been reading
good.
those rumors about Sony. Sony's gonna have a really bad idea about Black Cat.
But if that happens, then the Silver and Black movie might not happen. So
Yeah,
Sony's
but
like, good
I
job.
love her
Let's see.
character and their interactions together. I love her character and the way that they interact. So I would like to see that on the big screen. Like I said, I would like to see what they do with that character. I mean, you can't have somebody who does not have the femininity and the ability to use that to get her way. Like you can't half-ass it. So
is she too close to Catwoman, especially with a prominent Catwoman in the Batman right now?
I think that is perfect time to bring her in because you can do like you have Captain America has already been there, and maybe Red Hulk will be a result of trying to replicate the super serum. Then you could bring in this guy in Spider-Man that her father that knows the serum, like the formula for it, and he could be such a hot commodity because we've seen that multiple times in the MCU where they're trying to recreate that formula. That's basically a thing that would connect it right the MCU. We've seen it a couple times, not a lot of times, but in the Incredible Hulk, and we're going to see it again. That there's mention of it in Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. Yeah. So
I mean, there's always mention of the super soldier stuff around Captain America. Well, what does everyone else think about Heinz's question? New villains or rehab?
I want to see more street villains and honestly some of the like more obscure. I was thinking of course, I don't think we'll see Craven for a while, but it made me think
you'll
of
see him in October.
well, I mean, in the MCU, and thinking about those stories, I was thinking maybe Vermin, like just random
Vermin.
characters.
Nice.
Wow.
Just to kind of just like play along with maybe some stories that Sony won't necessarily let Marvel Studios.
No, I
Like
think Sony will
100%?
fight. Sony will fight you for Vermin at that point, to where their track record's going these days. So
I mean, you're not lying.
It's
though.
it's Vermin time.
Ah!
But I think that it would be kind of fun if we do see maybe something like that. I was thinking of maybe, and I feel like like Sony has been doing, I think possibly the Jackal is not in the cards for MCU, even though I would really want him
Don't
to.
tease me now. Don't tease me.
I would want him to be. I really do. I mean, the whole clone saga, I feel like could
Cinema.
play a really fun part in the MCU.
Yes, it is.
But I don't know if Sony will let Marvel Studios do it.
Yeah, they're
Well-
pretty upset with Marvel Studios and that 1.9 billion. They're going to do anything they want. As long as they don't have a solo movie playing for them, they're going to be fine with it. And in fact, even if they do, they're going to be fine with it. You think they're going to step in and say, no, you can't have Morbius in your movie, you can't have Craven in your movie? They're going to let them do anything because that just increases the value of those properties.
That's true.
No, I genuinely think
Sure.
Marvel can make just about anything they want right now. They just have to give their 2/3 of the cut to Sony.
What about
Any-
you, Joe?
anyone
What are
else?
you looking for?
I'm going to be honest with you, Brent. I think that should change too.
Oh.
Just one other thing is if we have a crappy Craven movie and we've already had a crappy Morbius movie, I think that percentage should change if Sony doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, but they've had two quote unquote successful Venom movies. So
They've had two successful movies in the way that they care about.
exactly. It got views. People watched it. I watched one of them twice.
So, what do you think, Joe? Do you want a new Green Goblin, new Doctor Octopus, or
Well, like I was
new
trying
villains?
to think, maybe a mixture of both. I mean, they've been doing a decent, especially on the last one, having multiple villains. They were able to balance that out fairly well, I thought. So like you can have a new Green Goblin and throw in, like, I was trying to think of a villain that they could have, and I don't know. I've always liked the idea of was it Silvermane? No, not Silvermane. The Spider
Silver
Slayer.
Sable.
No, the guy that created Spider Slayer.
It's Alistair
Alistair
Smythe.
Smythe. There
Yeah.
we go. Have him show up. Like, I think that would be a cool one to hop in. But I
So-
mean, it doesn't have to be Goblin, but like have a one that's already been working with one that hasn't, and just kind of mix it together somehow.
And I don't know if this kind of plays into your question, Heinz, but I think it was yesterday I saw Screen Rant's article about like a fan art, and I don't know how I feel about the casting, but you know, it was Michael Shannon being the new Green Goblin for the MCU. I wouldn't hate it, but I think it would be kind of fun. I just want to see, because I just loved him in oh shit, I forgot the writer from the last really big Spider-Man run.
Dan Slott.
No, not Slot.
After
Spencer.
that, Nick Spencer.
The most Spencer. I really loved him in Spencer's run. I want Boomerang. I want Boomerang in the MCU because I just think his comedy
He's
fits
got
for the MCU.
solo Sony movie written all over.
I
him.
know he does, and I hate it, but I think that his humor works well
He is
with
funny.
what MCU's humor is.
Curiosity.
So,
Did you ever figure out that Parker was Spider-Man? Because I've read
no.
like a couple issues of that, but I haven't finished it.
No.
No, and that's not a huge spoiler, but I would recommend you finish that run because it was actually
It was
as
good.
crazy
It's on a list
kind of
somewhere.
ups and downs that it has. It was a really fun read.
So I know exactly what group of villains I would want to be. I don't realistically. I don't think they would do it because I don't see it being a big enough scale of it's Spider-Man story, yes, but for the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, I don't know, because you got to think they're going to want to go big. How do you go bigger than No Way Home? I don't know, but Joe, you mentioned one of them earlier by accident, Silvermane. Yes, Silvermane.
Okay.
Hammerhead, Tombstone, The Rose, Hobgoblin, and of course Kingpin. Give me a good old-fashioned Spider-Man gang war, you know? Like, give me one of those stories, and obviously you know who I want to team up with them to help save the day. I don't even need to mention it, but just give me a gang war. Like, I'm reading the gang war arc from the Amazing Spider-Man run now, just because I saw a hilarious panel that Dan Slott had tweeted, and I'm like, okay, I've never read it. I'm reading that arc, but I want. It doesn't have to be that arc, but give me a gang war. Like, those are classic Spider-Man villains also. And especially now that we can have the main one of them all with the Kingpin be a part of it, that if I'm the one writing the story, that's what I'm doing.
Throw in Ox, Fancy Dan.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
So who was the third
absolutely.
You can have Hammerhead working for Silvermane. You can have
like all of them.
Tombstone working for Kingpin.
Tombstone,
Switch them,
yeah, that would be a really fun one.
switch
Okay.
them away. Like
I like
that would
that.
be a
The
really,
enforcers, yeah.
It's more
like-
grounded.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Joe, on the idea of kind of a mix. I think I wouldn't bring in Norman for the next movie, but I think at some point I think it's one of those that you kind of we want to see an MCU version of Norman Osborn. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
okay, we
eventually.
had Norman, but it's not like a.
Does he have the hair?
Ooh, actually,
I don't think it'll translate.
No, it's hard for that one to translate. You're right, but the Osborns I think
Look,
are gonna
MODOK.
are gonna come into the MCU. But what I would see, and it's a newer one, and it's definitely gained a lot of traction in recent years, is Mr. Negative.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that'd be cool.
You know, if you're talking about a gang war, yeah, you can get a gang war between Mr. Negative and Kingpin real easy.
Yeah, sign me up. I'm in.
Brent, any chance Ned's life goes off the rails since he doesn't know who Peter is and he becomes Hobgoblin?
One of the most convoluted storylines in
see it.
Spider-Man history.
I can't see it in my head, but
No. No, I mean, okay, like everyone laughs about that. It was a funny scene, but think back to the scene when they were like all in the school trying to build everything and like to build the different weapons to take down the Sinister Five, because there were 5 of them. And Ned does say, like, I'm never gonna be. I don't remember the exact line, but I'm not gonna betray you. I'm not gonna stab you in the back or whatever. You have Andrew Garfield in the background, like giving him a thumbs up. Like no, like I mean, they call that foreshadowing. So yes, I actually genuinely do think it is possible.
I wouldn't mind it.
I don't know
But-
if the actor has it in him though. Like
Well, and-
I'm
and-
gonna have to see something real special.
But also with them also playing with the fact that like now he can kind of dive into like the mystic arts as well. Like, are we gonna have a magic based goblin?
He should be
Yeah,
in
that's
Wong's Strange Academy.
Ooh.
He won't be because he's a Sony-owned character, but he should be.
If
True.
they do
Yeah.
make him as the Hobgoblin, please, it would be so awesome if they didn't show his face until the second Spider-Man. Like, if you kept him as just in the Hobgoblin suit, if it's going to be Ned, do that.
This is the
Yeah, but-
MCU. You do know this, right?
Oh, I know. I'm just,
Yeah, this isn't Marvel Comics,
Hey,
which they kept us on the lam for like forever with that reveal.
we got No Way Home. I don't rule out anything anymore.
I rule out keeping mask on. Doctor Doom's going to be walking around showing his face everywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, let's
well,
be
okay.
real.
There's certain levels of characters. This is a knockoff Green Goblin. Like
Oh,
No,
bro, I didn't
wow.
really think about that. That's gonna bother me now.
And then they've got to sell the toys with the mask and without the mask. So then you're cutting into toy sales.
That's
So
true,
they got to
that's
show the face.
Yeah, you got to go battle damage, non-battle damage, acid, no acid.
that
You
would
know.
play well for the story.
For just the story, you are right, Travis. That would be pretty cool to have, basically like have some suspicions, but don't ever confirm it, and just have the cast like trained not to confirm anything. Don't even tell Tom Holland the truth, and then the rest of them, And that would be a good story. From a business perspective, I don't really see it, but I like the idea.
Well, Chris, do you have anything else?
Nope. Go. I've got other ones, but you go ahead.
I was thinking, that is my phone. I was gonna ask David. We've all kind of shared our thoughts in the GUA chat. I know Chris and Brent talked about this also. But the rumors surrounding the Fantastic Four cast and like who it could be and everything else. How do you feel about Mr. Fantastic? Both Diego Luna and Adam Driver kind of, this kind of feels like the race to who was Batman in the Batman with Pattinson and then what's his name from X-Men?
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah.
The
So how
Beast?
do you feel about
From X-Men, he's on The Great. Screw X-Men. Watch him on The Great on Hulu. All right, go on.
I'm gonna see him in Renfield.
I don't want to see Adam Driver. I don't. When I look at him, I just don't see him in that role, and not just because of Star Wars, but because of other media that I've seen him in. He doesn't give off that feel of Mr. Fantastic. He doesn't give off that feel of the strong leader. He gives off the feel of I'm leading, but I'm still. Am I that guy? Am I not that guy? Like, he doesn't give me that feel of somebody who can lead the family, and he never has. As for Diego Luna, not really same thing. Like, I could see it, but I don't. I could see it in a one-off, not in a franchise for Diego Luna. I don't think he would want to do another franchise again. Like, I think he would want to pause and do something and then come back.
See, I would say that as far as not wanting to do another franchise, I thought that was Adam Driver. But for him to be in the talks of everything for this, it kind of got me surprised. But I feel like Adam Driver can do a little bit more of like the dry humor and or like the just the way that Mr. Fantastic is, how Reed is. He is very dry in all of his conversations. He's very like to the point. He doesn't really understand people's jokes at times. And I feel like Adam Driver could play that off very well. Whereas I'm all for a full Mexican or a full Hispanic Fantastic Four, but I don't know if Diego Luna could necessarily play that.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him, but I'm not entirely sure if he would be able to pull it off.
I liked when they had Penn Bagley was in the conversation at one point, and I liked him. I like him in You, and I think that he can do that just stone faced, straightforward. Like if he's got to deliver a line and he just here it is, here's what it is, here's what it was. Like this is what we're doing now because the science says so, and I'm smarter than you, so let's rock with it. But he also has the ability to turn the charm on when he has to be just Reed Richards' family man, or he has to be and talks with people because the Fantastic Four are so known throughout the community because they don't hide themselves. So he has that ability to be like, I'm the stern asshole. We're going to do this because I'm smarter than you and I said so. But he can also do the charismatic person.
But it's also that fact that, as we've seen in recent years, Reed going villainous as well. You have to believe that he is willing to, like, can't see past ethically. He's willing to do what he believes is right because of science, because of his own desire to do what's right based off his calculations, and be damned anyone else, including his family at times.
Now, I'm not saying that it still can't happen, but it would be kind of hard to explain. But with how, like you said, the villainous of Reed in other stories, we have Ultimate Fantastic Four Reed going into the universe in the comics and whatnot. But, you know, I think for most fans of Fantastic Four, you have to remember the relationship between Reed and Kang. So, like, I would like to see if they pull that, but I don't know if they would, considering who is the front runners of being Reed Richards and, of course, can't remember his name. Who actor playing Kang?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Majors. Yeah, Majors. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we could always be joking. It could always be Charlie Hunnam. Will it be?
Oh my god. Hopefully we get a Green Arrow cast so that dies.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if this is one they're gonna be able to hold on to till SDCC. I mean, I think that's the plan, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to make that happen.
I mean, what we have.
July's a while.
I was gonna say 6 months.
Yeah.
I think there was also talk of the guy from The Bad Place, or The Good Place.
Yeah,
Being I don't want to mess up his name. I know his name, but I know that I would completely butcher it, so I'm not even going to try. But there was talks of him being Reed Richards, and I could see that one as well. I think if he, like right now or last time I saw him, he was super skinny. I think he could put on just a little bit of bulk and play that role very well. And then that would also flow into the whole descendant with Kang.
Was it William Jackson Harper?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Marvel's had a bad casting ever. So since the MCU anyway. So I'm trying to think now of any, like, really one that would really stand out.
You count recasting as bad casting, or
Who are you thinking?
I was
they
going to say
recasted
who.
some people. So
Who?
I don't know, they recasted a few. You know, Terrence Howard, and I'm not. No, he.
Well, I thought you were saying they
I was going to say,
recast
you
was
say
bad.
Don
I'm joking.
Cheadle is a
I'm
bad
making a
casting?
joke. No. Recasting from bad casting to good casting. I'm just making the joke because bad joke. Look, it's like 10:30. I'm sorry.
Late is it, Joe?
Whatever.
I personally, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad casting rather than a poor portrayal. But Homecoming's shocker.
Which
for
one?
me anyway.
He wasn't like the.
I don't think it was a poor portrayal. They just didn't use him. He was a notch above. He's like the enforcers that Joe brought up earlier. He's a notch above a regular henchman.
Yeah.
I mean, the big debate, besides the casting, is that point. We keep on hearing back and forth rumors. Are they going to be time displaced? Is this movie going to take place in the 60s? Will they be in present day? That one's gotten a lot of debate of like where this is heading at that point.
I'm kind of tired of timepieces, to be completely honest.
See, now
But-
I love those. I mean, I would love for the story to continue going forward in time, sure, but like Fantastic Four, I think would work personally. Back set in the 60s, 70s, they get frozen in time, lost in time, whatever, and then they come into our time, and now they're, a team out of time, and they have to figure out what's going on. I kind of like that idea. It's probably not going to work, but I like that idea.
I've heard talks of the quantum realm being involved in how they are displaced and how they got their powers. Maybe they got displaced in the quantum realm. So they still have that 60s mentality. And because they were there for so long, that's how they developed their powers. And that could also explain why Kang is there as well, if they procreated while there and so forth and so on. Like,
well, have we talked about that rumor about how there's a rumor that Fantastic Four will make an appearance in Ant-Man Quantumania?
I'll say fiction.
Did a damn good job of keeping it quiet. If that's the case,
that'd be an impressive at that point. I don't see us getting. I think the best history lesson we've gotten so far with Kang, I think he'll mention how he got there and why he's there. I don't think we're gonna get a He Who Remains history lesson.
No, I don't think that either.
But yeah, it's probably next to X-Men. It's definitely going to be one of their most important. Like, this is strike 3 when it comes to the Fantastic Four. Let's not mess this up. So I think that's why they're really guarded about it right now, and why we've not heard a lot coming out from it outside of some scooper wars going on with not just casting, but where this. It was interesting. I would say that it's been very interesting this past weekend with Scooper Wars. Man, some people are getting a little testy with each other.
fighting over scraps, Chris, in the cold, harsh January.
Well, I feel like especially like the thing is what we have seen as fans. DC has somebody like Gunn to be like, no, maybe, whatever. Marvel. For now, yes. I think that it could be a little overwhelming eventually for Gunn, and he could go quiet.
Oh, I think come when things start going full swing, he's gonna cut ties,
dial it back.
Yeah, he's gonna stop as much as he is now.
But as far as like Marvel, I feel like a lot of these scoopers, they're like, well, we don't have shit for DC right now, so let's just do whatever we can for Marvel, and that's what's causing the back and forth between the Scooper Wars and everything else.
And Marvel's a well put together brand, and I don't expect leaks as much as with DC's past regime, where I expect any person to talk to anybody and give out sources. Where I think Marvel's way more of a tight knit. Obviously, you get some stuff come out, like we got like the Spider-Man stuff was spoiled for people,
like all of the Illuminati.
Yeah, lately, like the last couple big things, yes.
Any secret to Tom Holland?
or Ruffalo.
Well, I think to some extent, like, you have this contrast right now between Gunn and DC. Gunn being out there and again, our adage right now when we see a scooper from DC trying to say something, it's like, all right, let's give it 24 hours. We'll see how long this lasts at that point, whether it be confirmed or not. But, in Feige's not that kind of person. He's never put himself to be up that person. But I think to some extent they're like, let him fight it out. This drums up more interest for our movies. This drums up interest for our projects at that point. The haters are going to hate. They're still going to watch it in order to hate it on. And the people who are fans are going to dive more into it just to see what happens. It's, again, kind of like the Howard Stern effect. Like, more people, like the people who hated Howard Stern or still hate Howard Stern listen to him way more than the people who like him, because they want to hear what he says next. And it's one of those, like, it benefits Marvel in a way just to say, let's just see how this works out.
Gunn rebought I think Home of DCU, and they deleted their account. So
Did they really?
yeah, they
Who
don't
deleted
exist
their
anymore.
account?
Home of
No
DC,
way.
Home of DCU.
No,
Yeah,
they
Yes,
did?
and they're the ones that Gunn. Yeah, they deleted their whole. They don't exist anymore. Their Twitter page.
Dang, they took
I
their
just
bowl and went
love-
home.
When was it? Like a month back when somebody was arguing with. Oh no, it was Grace arguing with James Gunn about how. I heard from my source, and James Gunn's like, "No, I'm the source. I'm like the top source, and that's not happening." Are you sure?
I'm the source.
Like,
I'm the source.
pretty
But
sure.
Yeah,
I'm the captain now.
Yeah,
it's like
Wow, they actually did.
Yeah.
That's insane.
See, the
You
thing
got
about
gunned
Marvel-
permanently.
Marvel too, like you have brand confidence, so you're not worried if you have some scoopers that you're talking. Like Chris said, you're drumming up interest, I suppose, in this downswing. But I think I heard you guys speculating about Ant-Man 3. I think that could easily be between 750 and 850 for a film. I think that we're in the time now where people are starting for another film after Avatar. So I really think this is going to jump on. What do we have comic book wise? Thor: Love and Thunder, was that the last one? Oh god,
no, Wakanda
No.
forever.
Wakanda
Wakanda.
Forever. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, what was it? Like, the last original Marvel movie was Eternals. Since then, and until I can't even, Brent will be better at this than me because he's got the checklist. How long are we gonna go before an original project, movie wise, MCU?
Blade.
We
I think you're
don't
right.
have a
Going
date
right
for
now?
it.
How do you count Thunderbolts?
Yes, that's original.
Mhm.
That's
I
original.
guess so. Yeah.
Then as far as dated projects, it's Thunderbolt,
Okay.
which is July 26, 2024.
So 2024. So we would
Wow.
have gone from
Wow.
2022. We will go 2
About 2
years,
Yeah.
almost 2 years without an original project film.
Movie. Yes.
Movie. That's what I mean. Yeah, movie. Yes. Movie.
Because you have to acknowledge, like, in that time though, we've had Miss Marvel,
Miss Marvel.
and Moon Knight.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. No.
whatever
That's
else
what
I'm
I'm,
missing right now,
I'm
so-
focused on film. That's the thing I'm focusing
But
on.
the best thing about the MCU is they're all additions to the
Wasn't
MCU.
Eternals 2021, not 22?
Okay, you're right.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
It was
2021.
the tail
yes.
end of 21.
So
And
3
so
years.
I mean,
doing
tail
that-
end. Yeah.
But having those shows on Disney Plus does allow them to do that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Correct.
It does not excuse them though for not giving me a Shang-Chi 2 sequel already. Where is that? I don't see it dated. It's not
He
on my
might-
countdown.
He
I
might
mean,
be a little bit-
they're apparently fast tracking it from what we've heard with Spider-Man 4 and Doctor Strange 2.
as another character.
We've heard Shang-Chi is being fast-tracked.
I think that's what they said. I think that they're adding.
We
I
Spider-Man
heard
that a couple
Doctor
of
Strange
covered.
3, but I didn't hear. I'm not remembering Shang-Chi being fast-tracked.
We covered that a couple weeks ago.
Was that one of the weeks I was gone?
Nope, I didn't
No.
cover it when I was there. No.
I don't remember it.
He does not know.
You're turning into me, Brett. Stop it.
this
It'd be all right.
We make do,
So.
right?
So, what are, kind of, since any big topic before I bring up this one is kind of our geek kind of nerd goals and hopes for 2023. What are we looking forward to? What are we hoping to happen? Runs the gamut.
Me finishing the Radiant Black comic series and getting into the Massiveverse after that. I'm only 5 issues in, and I haven't got a chance. I'm still at the same 5th issue. I know.
This year,
issue was like a big one,
25,
too.
9, 3. You have about a good almost 50 issues to go.
I can
Eh,
punch that out. Allison's going away for a baby shower at the end of this month. I can take the whole weekend to myself and power through on some comics.
you can definitely
Oh,
try
speaking of comics, I was just reading an article, Heinz. Due to Quantumania, I believe it's issue 2 of Secret Wars has shot up in price.
Oh, I got issue 9. I'm getting it tomorrow for $10.
So, as oh, when was this posted? Oh, just
now.
literally just a second ago.
Just now.
Put it in the chat.
I can't help but feel a little bad for poor Diggle. Like, I mean, could
'Cause
you
of
not
that
give
damn
Was his
helmet?
suit always green?
No,
it a damn ring?
think
Like,
so.
are you kidding me? After
Not.
that
It
long?
wasn't that green. There's been tints, but it was never that green.
It's been going towards that color.
But
more
good
and more
lord,
and more.
but I mean, Diggle's
That
ugly ass helmet aside, that is awesome to see,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
gotta that's incredible.
Sorry, I'll put it back in.
But I just wanted to let you know, Heinz, come in the next 2 years, that entire run is going to be very
Oh, that's why I want to
very
get it done now,
expensive.
so I don't.
Did he just take Oliver's coat from the first season? Like, what the hell is he? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, Radiant Black's awesome. Massive is great. Supermassive 2023 is coming out this year, I think.
Does Diggle have a Green Lantern ring under those gloves? I don't
No,
see.
he does not. Man.
He's got
he
some
gave it up.
green.
You don't even talk about that. He gave it up.
A goal / wish / whatever you want to call it for
Looking
23 looking forward to is Blue Beetle for one, and any news of what will become of Blue Beetle in the future, and then San Diego Comic-Con is going to be freaking wild, so looking forward to that insanity.
Dude, that's a Comic-Con I have absolutely never had interest wanting to go to.
I did like a couple years back, but then within the last, I don't know how many years, I'm just like, no, I'm good.
I think it should be on like Nerdum's like bucket list at least, but like for me, I don't necessarily think that in order to enjoy San Diego Comic-Con, you need to attempt to do everything. Especially having a friend that has gone almost every single year sans COVID. I've learned how chaotic it can truly be. So I don't know if I would be able to last if I were to be like actually get a pass for all 4 days. Because if people didn't know, if you didn't know, you have to literally sign up to have even the opportunity to get those tickets. It's not
on
something
top
that
of
you can
signing
just buy
over your
tickets.
firstborn male child.
I mean,
I'm
also
good, though.
true.
Yeah,
which
I can't get
is
it.
why a lot of
I'm good.
people sign up for these things and purchase in groups, so that way they have the opportunity to get as many tickets as they can for their entire group to be able to go. But for me, as somebody who enjoys both movies and comics, going to San Diego Comic-Con would be so heartbreaking because I would have to decide, okay, am I going to go to a panel for comics and walk the floor, or do I spend all 4 days camping out just to see Hall H for whatever movie announcements, you know?
See, that's why I loved G4 back in the day, because they would just go and I would just watch that and
Yeah.
have the
I mean,
experience. Like, it was
he's
wonderful.
not wrong though.
That came back
Yeah.
for like a week. Didn't it?
It came back for a year.
Was it a year? Was
It
a full
went
year?
a
They just
solid
announced
year.
that they're shutting down everything.
Well, it's not just announced. That happened
No.
back in like October.
Yeah,
Was
because
it October?
Xavier
Okay,
Woods
okay.
found out on a plane. He got a text from somebody
That's
on a
so
plane.
Yeah.
So terrible.
Like, yeah,
I
we're all
will say,
fired.
though, platforms like YouTube and TikTok were doing great for them, and then it all just got shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they had too many irons and too many fires. Like, you could watch YouTube, Discord, like there were so many things going on. So getting views and consistent views, I think, was hard with that, because it was like, oh, go over here for this. Now, if you want to vote on this, you need to be on YouTube. Go on over to our Twitter for this. Like, you should have just had one avenue for everything and kept it with that avenue.
Mastodon.
And they tried to bring back X-Play and Attack the Show, and it just didn't have the same dynamic as it did
Top
before.
of trying to bring back Fetch, which is never going to happen.
Stop trying to make fetch
Well
happen.
done. Well done.
Love it.
What about you, David? What are some goals for you?
So along with like my monthly comics, I always go back and reread a series, and I try and make it like a long series, just something that I have fond memories of. And I'm just like, hey, between new issues, I want to read a long series. So I just finished Marvel Knights Daredevil, and now, like me and Brent were talking the other day, I'm going to restart Ultimate Spider-Man from issue 1 all the way through because I had such fond memories of that. TV wise is, if you can't tell by behind me, Super Star Wars. So I'm really looking forward to Ahsoka. That Rosario Dawson just TV crush. So I'm all for that. And I've got like 3 different Ahsoka Funko Pops back here. I've got an Ahsoka and Mando thing that I haven't put up yet. So I'm looking forward for that. And this year, kids willing, I'm gonna try and go to Kansas City Comic-Con and try and get this bad boy signed. So
Kansas City
The
Comic-Con?
Dark Saber.
Or
Yes.
Planet Comic-Con?
Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City. Yeah. So
those are 2 different shows. Do they even still have Kansas City Comic-Con?
I don't think so. I think that stopped years ago. So, but yeah, so try and get my Dark Saber signed. So that is my plan because the photo op is $90, I believe. And as long as no one in my house knows that it's $90, I will be making that happen.
Nobody listening to this chat.
She's not listening.
It's $20.
I heard $9.
So those are my 2023 goals. Also comic book wise, Fall of X, because I love X-Men and I've loved this whole Krakoa era of X-Men. So I'm excited to see where Fall of X goes because it's supposed to be a big event. I know Marvel and their big events, but this is supposed to be a big event. And so I'm excited to see what happens out of Fall of X.
I said it during our comic book challenge review. It's saying it's been a little. I love X-Men. I live and breathe X-Men, but this march towards it. I've lost my faith in some of these titles.
Yeah,
that Fall of X is probably there's a reason for it at this point.
I think so. There were too many branches, too many side things. You got to keep up with this group. Everyone was doing something different. But I'm hoping with Fall of X, we will cut ties on a lot of that, bring back somewhat of a status quo with the groups, maybe just having your mainline X-Men and then X Factor over here, but all these other splinter groups, the thing with Krakoa, the thing with Mars, everything else, just kind of end some stuff and bring things back. And as long as at the end of the day, Cyclops is right, then
Always.
I'm happy.
Always.
Yeah, he can sometimes be right. Sometimes.
Always.
Not always in the animated series.
Always.
Who's next for a goal?
I'll go next.
Looking forward to.
Obviously, I'm looking forward to literally any comic book movie, comic book TV show. I'm a sponge for all that. I'll watch it. Probably won't remember it, but I'll watch it. Like goals wise, I mean, obviously the comics challenge for this year. And David, I don't remember if you participated last year, but hey, use the hashtag on the Twitters and maybe you'll be in the drawing for a gift card. We'll see. I don't know. Just saying. Other than that, I mean, Last of Us, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to Invincible. Like those are gonna be great. I hope. No, really. Goals wise, clean my basement. I don't know. Like, reorganize this thing.
Mow the lawn.
That's a normal. Look, like my basement is like I've got so much stuff I want to put up, but I have no room. And she is currently in bed. I don't want to say I want her to die, but if if my girlfriend's mom happens to pass away soon, and I have room,
Holy
Hey,
shit!
Kevin,
I didn't know where
What
that
just
was going.
What just happened?
I
What
can stay in my
happened?
basement. I'm just saying.
Talking
Never
about lack
mind.
of
I
sleep.
am not becoming you. I'm not
All right.
becoming you.
All right, I don't know how to follow that
That's
up.
not a
Someone
goal.
can
That's
uplift
not a
us.
goal.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
And the GUA crossover chat have been canceled.
No, we're just not inviting Joe back for a little bit. At this
That's
point, he's
fine.
been in timeout.
You're in timeout. Yes.
All right, bye.
Good Lord.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling Emily.
This episode is all an
She
alibi
is
for him.
wanting it too. I'm not lying.
Oh,
my
God.
God.
Stop talking.
Just
Stop
stop.
talking.
Just stop.
Stop. The hole you've dug is bad enough.
Your mom doesn't pay attention. It's fine.
I need
Anyway.
plausible deniability.
Well, no one could expect it. I was thinking taxes and talking about babies. Was that nope? Joke. That's
All right.
a
What am
line.
I? What am I looking forward to this
Yes,
year?
bring it back, Brent. Bring it back.
Spider-Man.
God.
Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac. I'm bringing that one up. That's this year, right? I think. I don't even know.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
whenever that is,
It
I'm
might
looking forward to
get
that.
pushed.
Whatever, if they need to push it, that's fine. Just whatever they need for the best game. But the cross-gen Sigil Omni we talked about earlier, I'm hoping that cross-gen book from a couple months ago pops up on Marvel Unlimited soon. It's be another month or two, I think, before it would be there. But there's my goals. You know, play Spider-Man, obtain a PS5 so I can play Jedi Survivor and whatever they call it, Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac. And really to read more comics because I've been kind of slacking the last year or two. I need to read more. So,
Brent, the GameStop by my house has PS5s. I'm just saying.
oh shit.
I'm just saying. I was there earlier.
I was waiting till January.
The one
and
by
guess
my
what?
house.
See ya.
As of 6 o'clock this evening, they had some. I'm just saying.
We know what Brent's doing tomorrow morning. Yeah, for me, looking forward to The Flash. I'm definitely looking forward to that. You know, despite all
Grant Gustin's
the
final season. Sure.
Yeah.
no, not that. Yes, that. But the movie. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. But you know, seeing The Flash, despite all the controversy, everything like that. You know, seeing Michael Keaton back on screen, just seeing what this movie is going to be about, just like that's the interest for me. Across the Spider-Verse, that's definitely up there. Same thing like you said, David. Ahsoka. I'm an Ahsoka stan. I don't have as much Ahsokas, but my next trip to Disney World on my list is grabbing the Ahsoka hilts. That is top of my list. You know, for other things wise, I just bought my tickets for Heroes Con, and a goal in my mind is grabbing a few kind of on-site, because a lot of the creators like doing this is on-site interviews at the con, so maybe getting a few kind of sit-down talk-throughs and maybe putting together kind of all that together in a World's Finest episode. That would be kind of a goal of mine to try that out and see how that goes. But yeah, just sit back and, you know, like you said, do more reading. But yeah, those are some of my goals for this year.
Yeah, never mind.
No, you're still
I
on
think I
time.
barely have a timeout.
No.
Hey, one
you're
a goal
cut.
that I do
Go,
have.
go for it,
is
Joe.
maybe-
Go for it. All
maybe try to get
seriousness.
some,
Redemption.
maybe try to get some more writers on World's well, not World's Finest.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you can get him on my
Sure.
show. That's cool.
try to, but Walk to the Multiverse. Try to get some more interviews or something with people. I've reached out to a few. They've reached out to me, so it's been kind of a, I don't know. I just know me interviewing has always been like weird, personally for me. But I think I'm getting better at it.
I say you are.
Yeah, it's just it's a process.
It's
So-
not your thing usually.
it's
It's
not
not
my
your thing.
But if I have a group of people, and we play off each other, maybe.
Not
But
your mother-in-law.
not my mother-in-law. Definitely not my mother-in-law. Well, I mean,
She doesn't know.
girlfriend's mom. Anyway,
You know what I meant.
Super
look,
pithy.
better-
I
I think-
should go back and get the video of everybody's face because it was.
Oh no,
Really
S Bubs will probably do that. He may be on vacation, but I'm sure S Bubs will probably find that. That's more than worth it. If not, Snell will definitely do it.
Just
Yeah.
It was great.
No, you don't need evidence of that.
Just
Burn
like-
this
not-
broadcast
Everybody
immediately
talking.
after.
Just the faces.
Just the faces.
That'd be the cover photo.
Well, does anyone have any last minute topics before we bring this to a close tonight? Amberlyn, do you have anything to say?
I know. I was laughing too hard at Joe's question and I accidentally woke her up. So, Joe, I'm blaming you for this.
That's fine. I got blamed a lot for things this week.
You wake up
We
the
still-
baby, it's on you to take care of it. That's
Yeah.
rule number one.
As I'm learning.
Wait. I need a notepad to write down some more of these rules.
Yeah.
Just learn to walk quietly.
Now,
Yes.
Travis, for you, Canada will take care of the baby. You just keep
Barely.
they
sleeping.
give you $7,000 anyways.
They give you
You're
a
mean.
live-in nanny.
Nanny benefit.
I saw those Hallmark shows. It happened.
I don't think it's happening here, Joe.
She's just gonna fly in on a maple leaf and come and rock the baby to sleep.
And give a spoonful of sugar and it'll help the medicine
Even
go down.
so close. Just to fly in on a hockey stick. So close.
I think that's called checking.
Oh man. Well, this was a very it was going and then we go into some interesting areas tonight. So hopefully you all enjoyed
Good Lord.
the first of two January editions of the crossover. But David, thank you for joining us
Yes,
for being a patron. Number one, thank you for that, and thank you for joining us. Tell
My
people how they
pleasure.
can follow you.
I'm on all socials at the Phantom. I'm most active on Twitter of any of them, followed by TikTok, Instagram, everything. They're all the same handle, so you just follow me on there. I talk all sorts of nerd stuff, Notre Dame football, Chiefs football, and then Star Wars. So that's all I basically you'll see, and then random Doctor Who quotes.
I'm starting to know some of those. I've only been 2 series in, but I'm starting to know those.
Oh yeah, I just on my rewatch, I just finished the 12th Doctor's run, so now I'm about to catch up to where we are now with the 13th. So this is my third time rewatching the whole series.
Oh, nice. I
Nice.
started watching Whitaker and then I fell off and I never finished that. I need to go back and finish her run. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
It's all on HBO Max.
I know.
For now.
Eventually, it'll be on Disney Plus.
What's that
Yeah.
streaming service?
Joe, tell people where we follow you.
Nowhere. I don't want the cops to find me where I'm at.
Yeah, you
It's
just stick
much.
with that answer.
Yeah.
For real.
No, you guys can find me on Twitter at _actually_ You can find my show, A Walk to the Multiverse, on Twitter at @WalkTheVerse. I'm also part of DC Alliance every Monday night and Ranger Alliance every other month. And then you can find my other show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown and on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown.
Travis.
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about pretty much anything. Host DC Alliance on the network as well as the Animation Nation. We're moving to Saturdays for the next
Oh, yeah,
8
I should
weeks.
say that, huh?
So, yeah. Saturday morning cartoons. Stick with me going forward.
For 9 weeks.
Brent.
Yeah, Brentech Prime on Twitter and TikTok, and of course, co-hosting Marvel Alliance on Thursday nights.
And new dad, Clay.
Of course, you can always find me at Fanboy Clay on Twitter. Go ahead and follow my shows as well. Star Wars Alliance, Ranger Alliance, and not on the network, Batman News Weekly, but also with Star Wars Alliance. We do have a Star Wars Alliance hotline now.
See that? Nice.
So you can call in with your questions, your concerns, your feedback on any of the shows that we talk about, discuss, any of the new novels that we talk about. That phone number is 830-538-4828. And if you're an international listener and you still want to make that phone call or that text, but don't want to go through all of the charges and whatnot, get a hold of me on Twitter and we can work something out on like the WhatsApp and whatnot, and we can still get that voicemail.
The WhatsApp.
Operators are standing by. We're waiting.
It's
We're
Amber
listening.
Lynn. She's standing by.
And yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Bell. Get my 2 shows on the network, Our World's Finest True Believers. You can follow that at Finest Believers, and along with Brent, co-host of Marvel Alliance at Marvel A Podcast. So thank you all for joining us. This is first of
Not yet,
two crossovers coming. So probably be seeing some of y'all in a couple of weeks. And thank you all. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.